now on Longford Terrace, again getting its name from Lord Longford. Mentioned earlier, the Pakenham family owned Monkstown along with the De Vesey family. I'm going to just show you something rather interesting, a detail that's often overlooked. This is difficult to see because granite erodes, but this point is very significant because it's a benchmark established by the Ordnance Survey. When Ireland was surveyed between the years in the 1820s to 1840s, elevations throughout the country were established from a baseline in Dublin Bay, on the lighthouse in Dublin Bay. And we know from maps that this particular point is 43.1 feet above sea level. Along here, it's worth looking at the remarkable skill of the masons. There's much in Monkstown that's admirable in the masonry. Obviously, at this time, the harbour was being built in Dunleary. There were many skilled craftsmen in the area, so the ironwork, the masonry is of a very high standard. This is an unusual construction here, and if we look across the wall here, you can see the masonry where the Salt Hill Hotel boundary wall was. Remarkably and artfully done. Now, this is a remarkable artefact from days gone by. It's a lamp standard. We know that it's a gas lamp because there's a conduit here which would have fed the gas to the lamp itself. And these crossbars are significant. They were the crossbars on which the ladder was rested when the lamp was being serviced or possibly lit. Now, Monkstown had a number of interesting and very distinguished residents, one of whom was Margaret Huggins. Margaret Murray, by her maiden name, she married Leonard Huggins, who was a distinguished astronomer. Margaret herself was an accomplished astronomer at the time of her marriage, and she and her husband contributed very significantly to the science of astronomy, and particularly to the photography of space. Howard Grubb lived locally also on Longford Terrace. The Grubb family were famous for making scientific instruments, including lenses for telescopes. So that is Monkstown's contribution to astronomy. The railings of Longford Terrace are worth looking at. The detail is marvellous, it's often overlooked. The finial of the railings themselves are cast iron, but the feet here show little animal paws. A lot of the houses also have ornate boot scrapers. And of course they're a telltale because it's indicative of the fact that the streets were not paved at that time. And with horse transport, you can imagine there was a lot of horse dung on the streets. So people had to scrape their boots before going into the houses. Now, as we walk along just on the other side of the road, Longford Terrace residents would have been looking at the Salt Hill Hotel. Salt Hill Hotel was a very significant building because it seems to have replaced an early coffee house, which we know dates from the 18th century. So the Salt Hill Hotel was the place where the completion of the railroad in 1834 was celebrated in great style. It was a luxury hotel. It was very highly regarded, all sorts of modern conveniences at the time. Unfortunately, it ceased business and was eventually demolished in the 1970s to be replaced by the Salt Hill apartments that we see today.